Come and listen to a story about a man named Jed, who was a poor mountaineer and barely kept his family fed from day to day. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up to the ground come a bumbling crude. Oil, that is. Black gold and Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed is a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck, and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools and movie stars. The Beverly Hillbillies. Jed walked out onto the porch beneath the pale moonlight and saw a shadow moving near the vehicle. Where are you going, Shorty? Asked Jed in a calm tone. Oh, Jed, said Shorty, catching his breath. Going? Asked Jed. Yeah, you are not running out on Mary and Alberta, are you? Me no, said Shorty, shaking his head quickly. We're driving to Las Vegas at daybreak to tighten the knot. Jed looked up at the sky and rubbed his chin. It is only 2 o'clock. Ridiculous, you say, said Shorty, looking confused. That must have been the moon that come up. I thought it was the sun. Jed smiled gently and patted his shoulder. You can get yourself another 4 hours of sleep. Good idea, said Shorty, feeling relieved. I will do that. Night, Jed. Night, Shorty, said Jed. But before Jed could turn around, the shadow moved again. Where are you going, Shorty? Asked Jed once more. Oh, Jed, said Shorty, stopping in his tracks. Going? Asked Jed. Yeah. Oh, I was practicing Alberta, and me slipping away in the early morning, so as not to wake the family, said Shorty, trying to look innocent. Oh, you do not have to worry about that, said Jed, with a chuckle. We are always up before daybreak. Oh, well, that relieves my mind, said Shorty. Now I can sleep. Good, said Jed. Night, Jed. Night, Shorty. A few minutes passed, and the floorboards creaked yet again. Where are you going, Shorty? Asked Jed tiredly. Jed, do you not never sleep? Asked Shorty defensively. I was just about to ask you that, said Jed. What are you doing this time? I decided it would be real romantic if Alberta and me be alone, said Shorty. Jed raised an eyebrow and asked, would it not be even more romantic if you took Alberta along? Shorty stopped and widened his eyes. Hey, doggies, I knew I forgot something. Well, night, Jed. Night, Shorty. The next morning the birds were singing beautifully in the yard. Good morning, Alberta, said Mayor Heller, typing his hat. Happy wedding day. Oh, thank you, Mayor Heller, said Alberta, blushing. Is the groom up yet? Asked the mayor. Oh, I do not know, said Alberta, looking down. I did not think it was proper for me to enter his room unchaperoned. Shad walked up to them and smiled. I will check on him, Alberta. Thank you, Shad, said Alberta softly. Wake him gently. Oh, I will, said Shad. Alberta turned to Granny and sighed. What a shame Mayor Heller has a wife. You two could come with us and make it a double wedding. Oh, I am too old to think of getting married, said Granny, waving her hand. Yes, I suppose you are right, said Alberta. Just then Ellie Mae ran up to the porch. Morning, everybody. Hello, Ellie dear, said Alberta. Cousin Bessie, and me want to wish you a happy wedding day, Miss Bradshaw, said Ellie Mae, holding a large raccoon. Well, thank you, said Alberta, before pausing. Ellie Mae, you know I do not like varmints in my kitchen. Now take it outside. Well, Bessie, I am not a varmint, said Ellie Mae, talking to the animal. She is my friend. Well, take your friend outside, said Granny, shaking her head. Yes, ma'am, said Ellie Mae. Give me a kiss, she told the raccoon. Oh, dear sweet thing. Alberta watched them leave and sighed deeply. Oh, what a shame she is to lavish her affection on animals. What do you mean? Asked Granny. Well, she has no man and no prospects, said Alberta. Doomed to be an old maid. And here I am getting married for the second time in my age. Just what age is that, Alberta? Asked Granny with a sharp look. Between us, Granny, I will never see 40 again, said Alberta. Granny smiled thinly and said, did you catch a glimpse of 50 as you passed him? Inside the house, Shad was shaking a blanket. Shorty, wake up. Shorty. What is the trouble, Shad? Asked Jed, walking into the room. I cannot wake the bridegroom, said Shad. Well, from the look of that smile on his face, he must be having one awful happy dream, said Jed. I bet you he is dreaming about that bachelor party last night, said Shad with a grin. You cannot hardly blame him. Just a dry day he will throw at a humdinger. Yes, Shorty is a chic, and he is herring girls. Wake up, kid, said Jed, shaking him harder. Shorty blinked and looked around the room. Where am I? What day is this? This is the day you marry Alberta Bradshaw, said Jed. Come on. Get up. Have a heart, fellas, said Shorty, pulling the blanket up. I cannot marry Alberta. Why not? Asked Jed. Well, you missed that bachelor party last night, said Shorty. You saw all them pretty girls. That is a lie for me, said Jed. That is all over and done with now, Shorty. Well, it does not have to be, said Shorty, sitting up quickly. We can have another bachelor party tonight.
Who for? Asked Jed.
Oh, Shad, said Shorty, pointing. He is single. We can have the party tonight, then get married tomorrow. Who would I marry? Asked Shad. I am glad you asked me that, said Shorty. Never mind the answer, said Jed, pulling him out of bed. This is your wedding day, and your bride-to-be is waiting. Shorty stood up and shivered. That floor is cold. I am freezing. Well, look on the bright side, said Shad. Tonight you will be on your honeymoon. Yeah, and you can snuggle up nice and cozy with Alberta Bradshaw, said Jed. Shorty froze and whispered that did it. A little while later, Jed and Shad were waiting in the hallway. Where is Shorty? Asked Jed. Still in the bathroom, said Shad. Shorty called Jed, knocking on the door. What do you want? Answered Shorty from inside. Alberta is waiting for you, said Jed. Come on, hurry up. What are you doing? I am shaving, said Shorty. You have been shaving for an hour, said Shad. I got a dull razor, said Shorty. It is not that dull, said Shad. If it is too dull, I cannot even cut my ribs, said Shorty. Shorty, unlock this door and come out of there, said Jed firmly. I will be out in a minute, Jed, answered Shorty. Shad looked at the window and whispered to Jed. Jed, I just thought of something. What is that? Asked Jed. This room is next to mine, and there is a great big tree right outside the bathroom window. That is right, said Jed. Well, are you not afraid he will climb out the window and shimmy down the tree? Asked Shad. Nope, said Jed calmly. Alberta walked into the house, looking around. Hi, Bradshaw.
May I come in?
Where is my darling little fiancé? He is showering, said Shad at the same time Jed said. He is shaving. What? Asked Alberta. He is shaving, said Shad, while Jed repeated, he is showering. Well, which is it? Asked Alberta confusingly. Well, Alberta, said Jed quickly. Shorty is so anxious to see you. He is shaving and showering at the same time. Alberta walked up to the bathroom door and knocked. Hello in there.
Who is that? Asked Shorty.
This is your blushing bride, said Alberta. How soon can we leave to get married? Saturday till 8, said Shorty. Saturday? Asked Alberta, gasped. Shorty dear, Wednesday is our wedding day. Okay, see you next Wednesday, said Shorty. Next Wednesday? Asked Alberta, looking worried. Alberta, said Jed, stepping in. Shorty is so thrilled and excited that he does not know what he is saying. That is the truth, said Shad. The thought of marrying you has got him just paralyzed. Paralyzed? Asked Alberta.
With joy, said Jed.
That is it, said Shad. Paralyzed with joy. Oh, how sweet, said Alberta, clutching her hands together. Now you just leave Shorty to us, said Jed. Yeah, Alberta, we will have the bridegroom ready in no time at all, said Shad. Thank you, boys, said Alberta, smiling as she stepped away. Jed knocked on the door again. Shorty, what are you doing now? I am about to have myself a drink, said Shorty. Drink of what? Asked Jed. I found a bottle of alcohol, said Shorty. Well, Shorty, do not drink that, said Jed quickly. That is rubbing alcohol. Yeah, that is poison, said Shad. Do not go on it. I was hoping to get up enough nerve to fight that bear, said Shorty sadly. Forget it, said Jed. You drink that stuff, it will kill you. So come on out and marry Alberta. Gotta admit that B is dying, right, Shorty? Asked Shad.
Shorty, called Jed. Shorty.
I am thinking it over, answered the muffled voice from behind the locked door. Meanwhile, in the city office, Milburn Drysdale was sitting at his desk. Excuse me, Chief, said Miss Hathaway, walking in. You know Miss Bell, the little slave girl secretary, you cheated out of the bonus. Now look, said Drysdale, turning around angrily. If I hear one more word about that lousy bonus, I will fire you, her, and the whole secretarial pool. Oh, no, 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 Chief, said Miss Hathaway. It is nothing like that. Miss Bell, her little brother Cookie, would like to meet you. Oh, said Drysdale, softening his tone. Well, send the little fella in. I will give him a free piggy bank. The door opened, and a massive young man walked in, followed by an even larger man. This is her little brother, said Miss Hathaway calmly. Drysdale stared in shock. This is her little brother? Asked Drysdale. Yes, said Miss Hathaway. And her big brother would like to meet you too. Come in, sir, she said to the second giant. Drysdale cleared his throat nervously. What can I do for you gentlemen? We understand you had a slave auction here last night, said the big brother. Slave auction? Asked Drysdale, trying to smile. Hear me. That is what our sister told us, said the brother. Oh, you must mean the fun slave auction, said Drysdale quickly. It does not look like much fun for the slaves, said the brother, looking around. Who is this cat here? He asked, pointing at the corner. Well, that is the sheik who bought your sister, said Drysdale, pointing at Jethro. I mean, Miss Hathaway, explain the situation to these gentlemen. What do I know? Asked Miss Hathaway blankly. I am just a camel driver. Thanks a lot, muttered Drysdale. Really, fellas, it was just a party, said Drysdale, standing up. You see, these 3 secretaries volunteered to be make-believe slaves. Just make-believe? Asked the football player. Absolutely, said Drysdale. It was just good, clean fun. Miss Hathaway, bring in the 3 slaves. Secretaries, I mean, at once, lass. Miss Hathaway had a dry sense of humor. Well, what do you fellas do? Asked Drysdale, trying to make conversation. I play professional football, said the brother. Oh, say, that is my favorite sport, said Drysdale enthusiastically. You play too? He asked the other one. No, I am not big enough, said the giant. Here are the slaves, master, said Miss Hathaway, leading 3 young women into the room. I would appreciate it, Miss Hathaway, if you would stop joking, said Drysdale, wiping sweat from his forehead. Now, gentlemen, what is it you want to see me about? About you selling our sister as a slave, said the brother. And about that $100 bonus you owe her. Fine, said Drysdale. Now, which one is your sister? Are you kidding me? Asked the brother. Well, not at all, said Drysdale, looking at the line of women. Will the sister of these gentlemen please step forward? One of the women stepped out. She the one? Asked Drysdale. You did not think that maybe the black girl would be our sister? Asked the brother with a serious look. Well, did you not know I am completely colorblind? Asked Drysdale with a weak laugh. Oh, Miss Hathaway, make yourself at home. Take out my personal check to this young lady for $100. Yes, sir, said Miss Hathaway. No, not the green folder, the red one, said Drysdale quickly. Well, as you football players know, you cannot win them all. Back at the mansion, Jed and Shad were looking at the car parked in the driveway. Oh, gone you Shad hellers, said Jed, shaking his head. You had to be a blacksmith. How do you like the way Ellie and me decorated up the honeymoon car? Asked Jethro, walking up proudly. Looks real nice, said Jed, reading the sign that said Las Vegas or bust. You like it, huh? Asked Jethro. Hope Shorty does not think it gives him a choice, said Shad. He would take bust. Come look at the sign I put on the back, said Jethro. Oh, darn boy, that is jumping the gun, said Jed. Yeah, they will not be married till they get to Las Vegas. I took care of that, said Jethro. On the way there they just closed this down like that. Oh, Ellie, how lovely, said Alberta, walking out of the house. Thank you, dear. You are welcome, Miss Bradshaw, said Ellie Mae. Ready to go, Alberta? Asked Jed. Just as soon as Shorty is ready, said Alberta. Well, I will go looking on him, said Shad. Last time I seen him, he was still tied up. Inside the room, Shorty was sitting in a chair with a rope around him. Come on, Shad, have a heart, he pleaded. Nothing doing, Shorty, said Shad, tightening the knot. You are not getting loose until you are ready to drive to Las Vegas and marry Alberta. Listen, Shad, said Shorty, trying to bargain. You know that old mule of mine you always admired so much. Stop wasting your breath, said Shad. I have already turned down $20 cash in your car. I will throw in Alberta, said Shorty desperately. What would I do with her? Asked Shad. I do not know, but if you think of something, tell me. Well, Shorty, the time has come, said Jed, walking into the room with a somber face. Now cheer up. Will you see what Jethro and Ellie have done to your car? Asked Shorty. Burned it, wrecked it. Shorty, said Jed. Was Alberta in it? Asked Shorty hopefully. Your car is in perfect shape, and so is Alberta, said Jed. I believe that about my car, but it was never true of Alberta, said Shorty, sighing. Shorty, if you feel that way, why did you ask Alberta to come out here and marry you? Asked Jed. I had not seen a woman in 4 weeks because I had been hiding in Granny's room cellar, said Shorty. But when I seen all them pretty girls again, I changed my mind. Forget about them girls, Shorty, said Jed. Alberta has got everything they got. I wonder where she keeps it, muttered Shorty. Now stop that kind of talk, said Jed. You are getting a fine woman. That is the truth, said Shad. You and Alberta was made for one another. Do not forget, she owns the Silver Dollar City Hotel now, and you two can run it together. You will be a dandy team. You will be the happiest two birds in the nest. You really think so, Phyllis asked Shorty, looking up. Absolutely, said Jed. No question about it, said Shad. I was getting tired running the hotel by myself, said Shorty thoughtfully. Doing all the cooking and cleaning. Alberta will handle that, said Jed. She is a dandy cook and hard worker. You're gonna have a soft life from now on. My golly, said Shorty, smiling for the first time. That must sound pretty good. The door opened, and Alberta looked inside.
Come in, said Jed.
Is my bridegroom ready? Asked Alberta. I am ready, Alberta, said Shorty, standing up as Shad untied the ropes. He is just a mite nervous, said Jed. Oh, you must not be, darling, said Alberta, walking over to him. We are going to be so happy together. I hope you are right, Alberta, said Shorty nervously. And here is a little sample of the happiness in store for you, said Alberta, leaning in and giving him a loud kiss. But tonight there will be more. Where that came from. Well, Shorty, I reckon I have clinched it, said Jed, laughing. You sure did, said Shorty, wiping his cheek. Fire me up again. Down at the Commerce Bank, Drysdale was sitting peacefully in his office. Well, Chief, you seem calm and collected after your little scare, said Miss Hathaway, entering with some papers. Scare? Asked Drysdale, looking offended. Did I look scared? Terrified, said Miss Hathaway. Now listen, said Drysdale, leaning forward. I did not want to start anything in front of a woman. But you should have heard what I told those guys after you left the room. What did you tell them? Asked Miss Hathaway. I told them it was all your fault, said Drysdale seriously. Thanks a lot, said Miss Hathaway, handing him the papers. And here are the bills for last night's party. Drysdale looked at the total and gasped. Holy smoke! How am I going to explain these to the board of directors? Oriental tapestries, slave girl costumes, gold chains. Tell them you were photographing an ad for the bank, suggested Miss Hathaway. Photographing an ad? Asked Drysdale. Well, you got the pictures, said Miss Hathaway. It is a natural. Beautiful slave girls in chains. Your motto. Do not be a slave to debt. Save your money at the Commerce Bank. Beautiful, fabulous, said Drysdale, standing up with excitement. It is a great idea. It is good enough to actually use. I think so, said Miss Hathaway. All you have to do is pay the 3 girls. Nuts to that, said Drysdale. I have already paid one of them. See, that is it. We will reshoot the picture with just Jean. Now get her back in that slave girl outfit right away. Right, Chief, said Miss Hathaway, turning to leave. And Miss Hathaway, said Drysdale. I am going to ask the board of directors to okay a raise for that ad idea. Chief, that is wonderful, said Miss Hathaway. What is so wonderful? Asked Drysdale. It will probably put me in a new tax bracket. Back at the Hillbilly Mansion, Jed and Alberta were waiting by the car. You will be right down, Alberta, said Jed, looking up the stairs. You will be on your way to Las Vegas in 2 minutes. You know I have never been to Las Vegas, said Alberta, looking thoughtful. And Granny tells me they have gambling there. That is what I hear, said Jed. Every kind you can think of. I certainly hope Shorty will not be tempted to gamble, said Alberta firmly. If there is one thing I cannot tolerate, it is gambling. With some folks, it is a regular sickness.
I know, said Jed, nodding.
Right in my own family, a happy marriage was broken up because of gambling, said Alberta. Really, Alberta? Asked Jed. My Aunt Bertha married a man who was the picture of propriety, said Alberta. Sober, hardworking, church-going. Together they saved a small fortune. And in one poker game, they was completely wiped out. What a shame, said Jed. Yes, said Alberta, shaking her head. Aunt Bertha was lucky in love with a lousy poker player. Just then Shorty came running down the stairs with a suitcase. Let us go, Alberta, said Shorty enthusiastically. I cannot wait to get to Las Vegas. We will go crank up the car for you, Shorty, said Shad. Come on, Jed. I will go with you, fellas, said Jethro, running after them. Alberta looked at Shorty and smiled. Alberta, honey, we are all alone, said Shorty, looking around the yard. How about another one of them kisses? Oh, devil, said Alberta, moving closer. Make it a steamer, baby, said Shorty. Shorty kissed her passionately, causing him to stumble backward. That was a scorcher, said Shorty, gasping for air. Suddenly a deck of playing cards fell out of his coat pocket onto the ground. There goes my poker deck, he shouted. What? Asked Alberta, looking down at the cards. I cannot leave without that, said Shorty, scooping them up. Shorty Callums, do not tell me you play poker, said Alberta, with horror in her voice. Poker, blackjack, gin, rummy, pinochle, you name it, said Shorty, with a gleam in his eye. If it is for money, I will play it. Shorty, darling, please do not play cards, begged Alberta. Okay, honey baby, we will shoot craps, said Shorty, pulling out a pair of dice from his pocket. 8 is my point. There is a 5.
Cover it.
Shorty, darling, what has gotten into you? Asked Alberta, backing away. That old gambling fever has got me, said Shorty, rolling the dice on the hood of the car. I did not know you were a gambler, said Alberta, crying out. I was about cured, but I thought you were going to Las Vegas and brung it back, said Shorty. No, shouted Alberta. There is a deuce that says I make my point the hard way, said Shorty, grinning. Fade me, baby. Back at the bank, Drysdale was putting on a black costume. Miss Bell has agreed to pose for the bank advertisement chief, said Miss Hathaway, walking in. Oh, good, said Drysdale. And you will represent the villains, said Miss Hathaway, looking at him. That is it, said Drysdale. How do I look? Not villainous enough, strange as it may seem, said Miss Hathaway critically. You should have a black hat, black mustache, and a black cape. That is a good idea, said Drysdale. I will be right back. A moment later, Drysdale came back, wearing the full villain outfit.
All right, he said.
Did Miss Hathaway tell you what this picture is about? He asked Miss Bell, who was waiting in her slave costume. Not completely, said Miss Bell. Well, it is an ad for the bank, and the idea is do not be a slave to debt, said Drysdale. Now you will be kneeling with your hands like this, pleading with me, the villain debt. Like this, asked Miss Bell, kneeling down and holding her hands up. That is right, said Drysdale. And I will be standing over you with a whip like so, he said, raising a large leather whip. Please, master, do not hit me, please do not hit me, cried Miss Bell, acting her part perfectly. Suddenly the door flew open, and Miss Bell's 2 massive brothers walked into the office. I would not hit her with that, if I were you, said the football player, staring down at Drysdale. Hi, fellas, said Drysdale, dropping the whip instantly and sweating through his costume. I guess this looks kind of incriminating for a bank president. I do not know much about bank presidents, said the brother. How about you, Earl? I do not either, said Earl. But I will tell you one thing. I would not want my sister to marry one. Back at the mansion, Alberta ran out to the porch where Jed and Shad were waiting.
It is all off, she cried.
What? Asked Jed. I do not dare go to Las Vegas with Shorty, said Alberta, wiping her tears. Why? Asked Shad. He is an inveterate gambler, said Alberta, dramatically. Well, these ways he is not a Yankee gambler, said Jed, trying to comfort her. Jed, please come and talk to him, begged Alberta. Maybe you could help cure him of this sudden attack of gambling fever. Jed and Shad walked over to the honeymoon car where Shorty was still rolling his dice on the bumper. 11 come 11, shouted Shorty. Be good, Timmy Dice.
Feed me somebody.
Jed looked at Shad and sighed deeply. That Shorty is a hard rascal to reel in, Jed, said Shad. Yes, said Jed, watching his friend jump up and down with the dice. Looks like he done spit the hook again. About to become crime's #1 mother. What are you looking at? Asked Shorty, turning around with a huge smile on his face as the afternoon sun began to set over Beverly Hills.